Hey, everybody. Welcome back if you're returning. Welcome if you're new here. Thank you so much for joining me today. Happy Monday. And this is a really good vibe Monday. We've got Jupiter going into Cancer, which is a big deal because Jupiter is a benefic planet, meaning that it's very beneficial, the great benefic. So if things have seemed rough, Jupiter for the last little over a year has been in Gemini where it's in its detriment. So, being this the planet of all great blessings and growth and expansion and all of that, we really want it to be in a good place. It is in its exaltation or at its best in Cancer. So, if things have seemed rough, I know personally things have been rough. But this should be a point where we can start to breathe a little bit easier. Things are going to get a little bit lighter, less resistance. So, just a heads up today's the day Jupiter is going into Cancer. We also have a Sagittarius new moon or full moon this week, which is also a very beneficial astrological event. So, honestly, I know for most people over the last few years, things have been really, really rough, pretty much since 2020. And fortunately, we're coming to a close with that. So, chins up. Chins up. It's getting better. All right. So, I'm going to use the Wisdom of the Oracle today and see what we've got. We have orphaned. Orphaned. And orphaned is the number 5, which is change. And like we were just talking about, there has been so much change in the last 5 years. And not all of it has been comfy and cozy or chosen change. And when that happens, we can feel orphaned, like we've just been left out in the cold on our own. It can really lead to a victim mentality. When you think about COVID and all of the things that happened there, so many people losing their jobs, so much uncertainty. We come out of that. We've got all of this turmoil with the economy, and I mean, it's just been a lot. And there were beneficial things that came out of it. However, for many people, it's been a lot of struggle. And then, even over the last couple of years, it just seems like everything was on hold. If you've been trying to do new things, create new habits, everything has seemed like such a struggle. And when we put forth effort and we're doing the right thing and we're doing everything we know to do to make things better and it's not coming together, that's when we get that feeling that, you know, it just doesn't matter. Nothing I'm trying to do is working. And it can be easy to fall into a victim mentality and feel like, you know, you just can't win. And the truth is that in my personal thought on that is that the last few years have been about faith, developing faith, because our instinct when things aren't working is to try to force them to do more, to push more. Oddly enough, that creates more resistance, meaning that the harder we push something, the less likely we are to get the outcome we desire. Where with faith and trust, we develop this belief that what's meant for me will not pass me by. It will come in the right timing. I don't need to force it. I need to do what I can do. And we've talked about doing the daily, consistent habits and routines that will build what you desire. However, when you get to where you start to get obsessive about it and start pushing and forcing or ruminating over it's not happening, I don't see it, that's where we create resistance. And we just reinforce the victim mentality because nothing we do, nothing we try is changing the situation. So stop. And that's so against our nature. Stop doing shit to force it to happen, because you're not going to get the outcome you desire. If we can maintain that faith and trust in a higher power, God, source, universe, George, whatever you want to call the energy of the higher power, whatever you believe in, because it doesn't matter what we call it, it exists. Uh, and I wouldn't think it would have an opinion about what we should call it. So I don't know. But when we develop a trust in ourselves that we are not going to give up, that no matter how bad things seem to look on the outside, that we maintain that belief that what is meant for me will not pass me by. And that as long as I show up every day for myself and for my goals in divine right timing, it will come to pass. And most often, when you look back in retrospect, this period is about developing the skills you need to sustain what you desire. Because if it's given to us before we're ready, we're going to screw it up. You can spend all this time and effort building something. However, if you don't know how to maintain it, it's not going to last. And a lot of the astrology has been about creating something that will stand the test of time, that will last. So all the energy and effort you've been putting in, it's coming. It will come to fruition. But the more you try to force it, the more you obsess over it, the more you fret about it. One, your day to day is going to be kind of shitty. And it doesn't change anything to fret over something. If you release it, and when I say release it, a lot of times we hear that. What does that mean? That means you do the part you know you can do, the actions you need to take, and don't get fixed on an outcome. Maintain your steady, consistent contribution to whatever it is you're trying to accomplish. Do your part and let it go. What really can be surprising sometimes is that when we're in that space of, I'm doing what I can, and the outcome is outside of my control, so I'm just going to let it be. I'm going to trust that whatever is meant to happen will happen, and either this thing that I'm desiring will come to fruition or something better. And that's a big part of faith, is the or something better. By not fixating on the outcome, you don't limit the possibilities. So when you do not attach to or try to force an outcome, you put the effort in, you put the energy in, and then you stay in a positive mindset about this or something better will come, knowing that your efforts are not wasted. Because sometimes when we fixate on an outcome, what we envision is so much smaller than what the higher power is trying to bring to us that we limit our ability to receive. So we get, instead of the giant teddy bear, we get the little, like you put it on the dash of your car teddy bear, because that's what we had in mind. The universe was trying to bring us the big teddy bear, but we didn't leave space for it because we were trying to force the outcome that we could grasp that made sense to us. So, this period of challenge, when you feel like nothing's coming to fruition, that's generally a growth stage. And that growth is so that we are able to sustain the thing that we so desire. If you're having trouble finding a partner, it may be because you're being grown into the person that will attract the partner that can build the life that you want to build with them. Meaning that through this period, you're developing yourself to where energetically you offer the type of partnership that you also desire. Because many times we want a certain relationship and are not aware that we aren't able to provide our half of that relationship without some growth. And then we get in this, why isn't anything working? Because you're not ready yet. The struggle, the pain. Pain is the greatest teacher. We have a hard time appreciating pain because it sucks. No one is like, oh, I cannot wait to have some pain so that I can grow to my next level. But when we accept and understand, we learn through pain. It's just, pain is a great teacher. We learn what we don't want. We learn what we do want. We learn what not to do again. And through that, we gain wisdom and we mature and we become the person who's able to have the things that we desire and not just receive them and blow them, but receive them and sustain them. So if you're feeling that orphaned victim, why isn't anything working out for me? Look at, what are these things trying to teach me? What can I learn from this? How can I grow through these challenges that I'm facing? What could this be trying to teach me? Because anytime we experience pain and challenge, disappointment, it's because we're being asked to address something that's going to bring us to that next level where we can have the things we desire. It's all about leveling up, just like a video game. You got to pass level one to get to level two, because if you don't pass level one, you don't have the skills you need to pass level two. And so many times we get frustrated and throw a fit and just lay down in level one, like, I fucking quit. I give up. This sucks. Well, you're not going to move on from there. So don't lay down. Look up. Look inward. Look for those things that your challenges are asking you to address so that you can get to level two and get out of this shit sucks. So trust in the process. Know that the challenges of today are bringing you the desires of tomorrow. And the faster we get out of that mentality of, why isn't anything working and what can this teach me? And then when we realize, okay, this is trying to teach me patience, or this is showing me a wound or a belief that I need to address, because if I do not, I'm not going to be able to sustain what I desire. And when we approach it from that perspective of, what can I learn? How can I grow? We have actions we can take. We don't feel like we're stuck because we understand, okay, I'm in a growth phase. These are the things I need to work on. And that consistent daily action brings you to where you need to be for the things you desire to come into play. So know that the struggle is just for growth. And the sooner we quit fighting the struggle and resisting the challenges, the sooner we get past them. Embrace the challenges, embrace the setbacks, because all it is just asking you to step to the next level. So, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this helps, and I will talk to you soon.